So I was bored at work this weekend, and I'm running ballistics through ballistics calculators and drop charts, and really it sparked from my kind of getting bored with the 170 burgers, and I remembered back that a viewer had sent me some 150 Nosler ballistic tips, and I actually went back through my video archives and I found the load that worked really well with the Winchester brass using H1000 powder, and I was like, I've got this ADG brass that I've been sitting on for several months now, and I just really haven't had any thought to use it yet because I've been getting good consistency with my Winchester brass and the Burger EOLs. So I was like, I kind of want to make a new load or try a load that worked well for me in the past, but use the new ADG brass. So a while back, I picked up 100 rounds of this 6.8 Western ADG brass. So my plan is we'll load up the rest of those bullets using the ADG brass. The stuff is really nice, comes from the factory annealed. Everything looks great on it, as you expect from expensive brass from ADG. But it'll be interesting to see how this stuff stacks up with the Winchester brass. Now, I'm only going to tap into one box, and I'll leave the other box kind of available for what you guys want me to do with it. If you guys, I don't know what you want me to compare it with against some Winchester brass, like case capacity, weight consistency, neck wall thickness consistency. I don't know where to start. So if you guys want to see something with this brass, if you guys are interested in picking some up and didn't want to pony up the money until you figure out if it was, quality or consistent brass, let me know. I'd be very happy to put out a video or two to maybe sway you guys in one direction or the other. So let me know there. I'll get tooled up and we'll get everything kind of put together and see if we can't make recreate the load that I did last year using the H1000 powder and the 150 ballistic tips using the ADG brass. Okay, so we're gonna run 66 grains of H1000. I do notice that the Saturn powder funnel fits pretty damn tight on these the case necks, so that's good. Just kind of comparing it to my Winchester brass, it is a little bit more of a tight fit. That might change as I get some firings out of the brass. Let's see here, we get a good full case capacity here. I don't know if the camera's going to pick up on that, but nice full case capacity with the H1000. So this will be a compressed load at 66 grains. So if you guys are going to use, this powder charge weight, I would be very, very cautious in starting off with this. I know my rifle can handle it the way I assemble it with the components that I used, so be very careful with the compressed charge weights. Now, what I found with these guys are my initial targeted seating depth was 2.240, and when you get into compressed charge weights, sometimes you'll get inconsistent seating depths. So that was 2.240, and sometimes it won't seat all the way down to your targeted seating depth. And that just has to do with the way the powder's sitting in there and, how much force you can push down on your ram on the reloading press. So what I opted to do this go around is I'm just going to back my seating depth off 5 thousandths to 2.245. It seemed like that was pretty much the average seating depth with this powder combination and case combination. So I backed it off 5,007 inch to 2.245. We'll see if that changes accuracy at all. One thing I do want to give you guys a tip on, if you guys are doing compressed charge weights, is do one seat, go down with your ram and then turn your case like a quarter turn so you get a couple, 2 or 3 good presses on that bullet. And that will just help even everything out when that base of the bullet interfaces with the powder charge weight or the powder charge inside there. So you get more of a consistent and uniform seating depth. Okay, taking a closer look at our group size, the first 5 shots out of that rifle with this combination of components was about 3/4 inch, maybe a little over 3/4. And then I came up and shot another group. And this was, a small group, obviously, but I'm going to say about a 1/2 inch. It was getting pretty miragey, or a lot of mirage at that range. It was kind of mid-afternoon, 80 degrees, so not the most ideal conditions to shoot groups in. So anyway, it started looking good, but then, the rest of the story is our extreme spread and standard deviation numbers. For this first 5-shot group, I was getting an average of 2913 feet per second, and that's about 70 feet per second less than what I was getting last year using the same components except with Winchester brass. So something with the ADG brass is I did alter the seating depth 5,007 inch. So between the brass and that different seating depth, some reason got me 70 feet per second less. But our big signs are the extreme spread and standard deviation numbers aren't the greatest, and that was probably what was causing my very erratic grouping at that 580 yard gong. Just kind of shooting all over the place. The groups weren't the greatest there, so I'm gonna have to rework this load if I want to use this bullet in the future with the new brass, just to see if I can't get these numbers to be closer to single digits as possible. Now I did run a second group, a second shot session. These were the 9 shots that I did at the longer ranges and at that 580 yard range, and consistent with my first set of groups, or first data session of 2914, extreme spread of 47.8, standard deviation of 13.9. All right, well, that was an interesting reloading session. I really wasn't banking on anything to be too terribly dialed in, but nonetheless, it was a good little experiment to take a old load that might have worked and try it out in the new brass. Obviously, I'll have to kind of start from ground zero with the new brass, just because it reacts differently than what the Winchester brass does. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them in the comments. And like I said, if you guys want me to do some comparisons with the ADG brass, please let me know and I will get a video pumped out in the next month or so. I'll be busy hunting but I'll try to get you guys some more content as I get time to do so. So thanks guys, I appreciate it, and we'll catch you on the next one.